An anonymous complaint has come into the HSSC Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Hotline on a provider of primary health care services, the PHC program. The allegation is that an employee in the accounts payable department has set up several fictitious vendors and is diverting state funds to these vendors. You've been asked to help internal affairs with the investigation. The provider's been asked to send to their contract manager a copy of their employee master list and their vendor master list in Excel format. Once received, you'll apply the following fuzzy match analysis to the files to identify any vendors that have the same or a similar address as that of an employee. All matches will be investigated to determine if the vendor is a real or fictitious vendor. So on the screen here, I have the employee master list and the vendor master list. So the first thing we're going to do is change the vendor master list into a table. So let's get up to the top and make this into a table. So we'll format it into a table like this, and we do have headers on our table, so we can click OK. Then I'm going to rename this table to vendor table. Okay, great. Now we're going to go to employees, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to make this into a table, and I'll call this one employee table. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to pop back over to the vendor table, and we only want to look at the vendors for 2019. So what we're going to do is pop over to this column C that says, column D that says vendor since, and let's hit the drop down arrow, and let's deselect all of these, and we're going to reselect 2019, and we'll say OK. All right. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to copy this table and put it into a new tab. So let me make my new tab. Then I'm going to come over here and copy this table. Oops. All right. And in my new sheet, I'm going to put my table. And we're going to make these a little bigger so we can see them. Okay, that's good. We're going to call this table Vendors 2019. Or this tab, I should say. Then we're going to go ahead and make this into a table like we did the others. And we'll call this table Vendors 2019. Alrighty, we got it. Okay, so now we're ready to use the fuzzy lookup function. So let's go up to the top menu bar, click on fuzzy lookup, click again. All right, and you have a little panel that comes over here to your right, and you can make this panel bigger. Well, it looks like it's already sized as far as it's going to go. Okay, so we're going to do a couple things here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our left table, which is going to be the Vendors 2019, and then we're going to select our right table, and that's going to be our employee table. Okay, so then we're going to want to match up on the vendor billing address and the employee street address. So you've got to, in your left column, you pick vendor billing address, right column, employee street address. Okay, and then this little icon in the middle is your actual join icon, because we're going to be joining that data together. So we're going to click on it. There we go. So you see the billing address for the vendor, the employee street address. So we're ready for that join. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tell this, we're going to tell Excel what columns we want it to put into our new tab. And I'm going to create a tab right now. And this tab is going to be called a fuzzy match tab. Okay, alrighty. And I want to have my cursor up in column A. All right, so we're not going to need all this information, obviously. So we don't care about vendor ID. We do care about vendor name. Type, no. Since, no. Contact, yes. Vendor billing address, yes. City, no. State, no. Zip, yes. Billing phone, no. Okay, employees, we don't care about the ID. We do want the first and last name. We don't care what their gender is or when they were hired. We do want their street address. We don't need the city or the state, but we do need the zip. We don't want the phone. And we do want fuzzy lookup similarity. Okay, so we're only going to do matches on one element of each data group. Vendor data group, employee data group. Okay, so all you do is click go, and we will see the results over in this fuzzy match tab that we set up. So let's see if we have any matches. So what we can do is, first of all, let's expand some of these columns so we can see what we got. Okay. Good, good, good. We see we have some similarities, and then we have a lot that are not similar. So we want to make this into a table. Back to the Home tab, format it as a table. Okay. This is going to be called fuzzy match. Okay. And we're going to filter out anything that's a zero match, because that means there's no match. So we're only going to look for actual matches, and we have 3 of them. We have 2 70%, 1 65%. So let's click OK and see what we've got. All right, so what's happening here? So we've got this vendor, D Electronics or Electrics, and we see that it has an address that is the same address as this employee, Zaid Fuentes. The same, his employee address matches up with the vendor address. So that's a little suspicious. So we're probably going to investigate that. Single trans, same kind of situation. This time, and it's the same employees, Zaid Fuentes. So we're going to look at that one. And then we also have Tam Lab, which is the same address as Leslie Allison, an employee. So we're going to look at that one. So this is just an example of the tools that forensic accountants use whenever investigating accounts payable situations like this case. There's lots of other tools that we use, but I thought this might be an interesting tool to take a look at.